So, how genius is it to think about the 3-step maneuver on how to basically topple a country's government from within? Step number 1, isolation, destroy communication, destroy transportation, make them deaf, dumb, paralyzed, essentially. Step number 2, synchronized chaos, convert attacks, spread false information, or mislead them. And if this is done correctly, they will turn against each other. And by they, I mean the population of the country. Ultimately, number 3 is civil war, which is the collapse of that country's government. In this situation, what would you do?
I would leave the world behind and run away and never came back again. Welcome, guys, to Myndscapepodcast. This episode is the 4th one we have today. So we're going to be talking about the Leave the World Behind movie. It's been released a few months ago. I would say about, it's last year, 2023 in November, sometime in November. So about like 4 or 5 months ago. The movie, it's still kind of new movie, still fresh. So a lot of people haven't watched the movie. So we want to bring a little bit more awareness around the movie. I think the movie, it's not just a movie. I think it's more than a movie. Yeah, it's a message being told to the society. So we want to share our perspective about that movie. And so hopefully you guys have something to drink. We do have coffee. We are a coffee addict in this house. And obviously we got some snacks also. We love food. We love snacks. Yeah. We got some cheese board. So we're going to be snacking while we're talking, right? Yeah. We like to get comfortable. We don't want to be boring and just talking, right? So we want, and the sweets keeps you smarter too. Do you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah,
That must be a new research.
Elon Musk told me that. Elon Musk told me if you want to be smart like me, eat more sugar.
Right.
But, yeah. Anyways, long story short, we're gonna get this podcast running right now. So, cool. How you want to take it? What's your thought about the movie?
Honestly, it's when I think about the movie, it's a little bit overwhelming. I think it's frightening. I think it's a little bit conspiracy theory-ish, although I would say there's definitely truth to it. As much as I want to say it's like conspiracy theory vibes, I definitely, it's not impossible. It's definitely truth to it, like I just said. Now with this technology going on, especially now with like the Apple Vision goggles, which we'll talk about that another time. I definitely think
how ridiculous is that though?
I definitely think it's frightening. I think that's the only word I can use right now to describe it. It's frightening.
Okay. So, okay. Did you like the movie? So just let's talk about it as a movie. Let
me tell you this. I did not like the movie. I like the message that it sent. It was really entertaining. But I don't know. It was really hard for me to pay attention from the very beginning. I did like the little subliminal messages here and there, but I wasn't really hooked on the movie. I was not. The only reason why I watched this movie, let me tell you, is I had a coworker of mine sent me a small clip on Instagram of when all the Teslas were crashing together. And I'm like, oh, what is this about? There wasn't much context. So I was like, let me just watch this movie. Okay, cool. So literally I was just waiting for that part. I got really annoyed, or not annoyed, but I got bored. So I just like Googled a summary of the movie. So that enough tells you I didn't really like it. It wasn't that entertaining for me personally. Although the only thing that was entertaining from the movie was the message that it was trying to convey, you know.
So you saying you didn't like the movie, but you like the message. The message is kind of scary.
It is scary.
What do you like about it?
That it brought awareness that, I mean, yes, it's a possibility that can happen, but we have busy lives. You know, sometimes we run around day to day doing things that we forget that we did make. And I don't mean we as personally me and you, but we as a country, we did make a lot of enemies around the world. And we forget that that's definitely something that's possible, is for our enemies to attack us back.
Okay, you ran a little bit too long for me. Hold on. But okay, so in my case, if I do like the movie, just that's what was my question. Do you like the movie just as a movie? It's not talking about the message behind it, right? Okay, so for me, I'm talking about just the movie. I do not like. It's not my type, you know, right? That's not what the movie. I like real life stories movie. I like action a little bit. I don't like 3D type of thing movies, you know. I don't like Avatar movies, you know.
Right.
You do like them. I don't. I like more realistic stories, more real life, you know, based on movies, stuff like that. So I remember you told me like 2-3 times about the movie, like, hey, you should watch this movie. I heard it's crazy, blah, blah, blah. And finally, I decided to sit down and watch the movie, you know?
Yeah, we watched it in pieces, if I remember, right?
Yeah, literally we break it down like
in little segments. Yeah,
but as a movie, it's not my cup of tea for sure. But I think the message now, it's something else, right?
Yeah,
exactly. So yeah, let us know, guys, if you guys watched the movie already. Let us know whether you guys like the movie or just the movie, and give us your thoughts about whatever you guys get to understand from the movie. Okay. Yeah, and so
obviously this is a spoiler alert for those who have not seen the movie. So if you don't like it, probably watch this video later.
Yeah, absolutely. The movie, like I said, a lot of people haven't watched it. It's been really just a few months ago. So, you know, it's still fresh. It's on Netflix. If you guys haven't watched it, go and watch it and let us know what do you think. Okay, so what do you think about Obama and his wife and, you know, Michelle Obama that were involved making this movie?
I think that's very interesting, coming that they are people of money and power. And I mean, I know they're not, you know, in the White House anymore, but I'm sure they do probably have some sort of power or influence on things, right? So that's very interesting on, I don't know. I wonder what made them direct or help with the movie. Is there something specific that they know that the rest of the population doesn't, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
What about you? What do you think?
What I think, like you said, you know, so I feel like these people, they know something that we don't know 100%, you know. It's not we don't know. We know a lot of things also, right? But I think these people did just know the inside elite people, how they operate themselves and how they think of the world and how things is gonna go. Okay, so I'll tell you this. This is 100%, 110%. I'm convinced that it's going to happen. When? I don't know. Maybe next 5 years, next 10 years, 20 years. I'm not sure. Yeah, definitely. They know something that we don't know, and probably maybe they feel bad about us, right? Nah, I don't think so. Actually, the devil worshippers, they have to tell you exactly what they're going to do to you. That's like the religion. No, it's not a religion, but they call it religion to them. Whatever, the
Sure. It could be a religion. I mean, it is a religion.
It's yeah. I don't know if it's a religion or not, but the devil worshippers, the rules they have, right? They have to tell you exactly what they're going to do to you. Okay, that's how the devil operate, right? The devil doesn't make you things to do it. He just make him easy and think about it easily to do. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? So, example, if I give you a cheese, right, with the poison in it, and I didn't tell you, that means I killed you, right? But if I told you the cheese has poison in it, then I deceived you to eat it, right? That means you killed yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's different, right? So that's exactly how this, evil people think, or that's the rule of their religion.
Or I guess they also sacrifice, right? So if they tell you, I mean, wouldn't that be a sacrifice?
Yeah, exactly. So no, they have to tell us. So they have to tell us, but they let us know what it's coming in a way you like, isn't it? Is not, So, but like it is 100%. So if again, I always believe this since I was very young baby, right? Nothing comes from nothing. 100%, to create anything, right? You need to have some baselines, right? The guy who create the light bulb, probably he got inspired by fire, right? It was like, oh, the fire can make you lit up at night, right? So how can I create something similar to it,
You mean the fire can provide light?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then that's how probably the person who created the light bulb got inspired by the fire. You know what I'm saying? So God creates something, and there is human being that's smart. They get that baseline, you know what I'm saying? And they try to invent something from it.
For sure. I think that's a neat way of looking at it.
Do you understand?
I understand what you're saying. I think that's a neat way of looking at it. But I think a lot of the time back then, it's like there's a need or there's a want, and then there comes like an idea, like an invention. Do you know what I mean? Especially back then, before the Industrial Revolution, there was a lot of needs. The Industrial Revolution kind of brought all these inventions and things were made. So what I'm trying to say here is there's an inspiration. There's like a thought of, oh, hey, what if I should do this? I could do this. I'm inspired to do this. But then there's also like, I want to do this.
Yeah.
And there's, I need to do this because of X, Y, and Z. I feel like with this movie, it's like I want or I need to do this because of some sort of hidden agenda. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%. But again, like I said, I don't know if my idea, come across to you guys or no. But basically what I'm trying to say here, nothing comes from nothing, right? You need to have some base, some kind of materials, right? If I told you build a car and you have zero materials, right? How can you build a car? And probably you don't even know what's the car made of, right? So you need some ideas, right? So like the car, whoever create the car, the first person create the car, it comes like from horse. They make the trailer back of it, like, you know what I'm saying? So there's so many different things.
Yeah, the baseline is transportation. How do I get from A to B?
Exactly. So you need to, so all the movies, not all of them, but majority of the movies, they have some baseline idea, right?
Yeah.
And that idea came from somewhere, from something, right? Yeah. So what I'm trying to say here, back to the movie All Around Circle, is the movie being inspired by something that is going on somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So that's how the idea came up to, and they make the movie around it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's my, so that's what I'm saying about, again, yeah, Obama and, and his wife, again, to me, like I said, something that we don't know. I don't know, is it they're making this movie to let us know so we can get prepared, whatever may be.
Like a warning.
Like a warning, because maybe they love us, maybe they hate us, right? Or maybe because they're, these people really believe in these very evil things, right? And sold their soul. And they have to let us know. But obviously, they never tell you exactly directly, but they tell you with the movies, with the songs, with the pictures and stuff like that.
I think a part of the reason why, now that I'm kind of soaking it in, what you're saying is they're probably doing this to desensitize us. Because once we kind of see it happen, quote unquote, we're seeing it happen, right? In a screen, we will not be as surprised when it happens in real life.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure. For sure. But yeah, you guys, again, we would love to see you guys thought about, exactly what we're talking about, like how the idea being inspired from, right? That's exactly the question is, like when I saw the movie, I'm like, nothing comes from nothing. This is my grandpa, told me that, and being wired this way. Nothing comes from nothing. Anything, water comes from something. Food comes from something. The walls, anything you see comes from something, right?
Cause and effect.
Yeah, absolutely. So can you please tell us what's in the movie? So people that haven't watched, they have some ideas. We don't want to burn the movie for you guys.
There's a cyber attack on America. In the movie, there was a short clip, a very short scene where a flyer came down from the sky. It was dropped down that basically stated, death to America. And the way that happened is kind of how I mentioned a little bit earlier, is there's a 3-step maneuver on how to basically topple the country's government from within. You're basically gonna just crumble the country and just essentially, destroy it. So number 1, it's isolation. You isolate the country, you cut communication, and you cut transportation. And by I say isolation is when you do eventually cut communication, the people inside the country cannot contact anyone outside of the country. They can't contact each other via cell phone, that's what we use nowadays via internet. Then, essentially communication's gone. Transportation, there's a limited supply of power, of gasoline, of whatever you may use, EV or gas. Transportation outside of the country, it's completely gone. Airplanes start crashing down because there is essentially no power, no map, nothing. The navigation is completely off. Ships, big like oil tankers, start just crashing into the coast because there's no navigation. So, basically you get the point. Transportation cut off, communication cut off, they're isolated. You make the population as deaf, dumb, and paralyzed as you possibly can. Number 2, synchronized chaos. Well, what does that mean? You convert attacks, you spread misinformation. And if this step is done correctly, like they mentioned in the movie, people will eventually start turning on each other.
100%.
What does that look like? My neighbor, you come over for supplies, like in the movie, you come over for medical supplies, medication. I have a gun ready pointing at you because at this point, it's me. It's me or you.
Because even the money, it doesn't worth anything.
It's me or you, right? Yeah. And when it comes to life or death, I'm picking me. That's what majority of the people do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's step number 2. Step number 3, which is the Civil War, which ends up in collapsing, the country's government.
Yeah.
So step number 3, the population, the people within the country will basically destroy the world, or not the world, but the country on its own via chaos, which is attacking each other, going against each other, stealing each other, killing each other, robbing each other.
Correct.
Hurting each other in these different ways. And it's very easy for me to say, you know what, babe, like, when that happens, we're together. I got you, blah, blah, blah. We're a team.
I will.
But just how in the movie, it kind of like reflects how things can change when it comes to that point.
Very quickly.
There's those emotions come into play. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I don't know, like, can I really stick with you? Or will we end up being against each other? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%.
It's hard to say because emotions come into play. We can just say, hey, we're ride or die. We're here for each other. I'm going to sacrifice myself for you. But when emotions come into play, people do crazy things. With that being said, I'm not saying I'm not here for my husband, but you get the point. You can just say, hey, I'm going to stick with my best friend. I'm going to help my family. Whatever. But when emotions come into play, it's really hard. It's really hard for you to say that you're going to be with that person. You're going to sacrifice your food, your survival kit, whatever. So that's essentially what the movie's about, is these 3 steps. And it kind of gives you a picture of how when emotions come into play, it's very easy to turn against each other. So,
sure.
That was my take on the movie. I don't know if you want to add anything or if maybe you saw something that I didn't really catch.
Yeah, I just want you to give them a little bit, summarize the movie a little bit so they have an idea what we're talking about, so because if the people have no idea what a movie is, they'll be like, what the heck, like, what are you guys talking about? So yeah, basically there's so much chaos, people being turned on each other, right? But I think again, so if it comes, we are in that situation, right? I think best chances to anybody being together as a people, you should care about your neighbor and your family and like your wife, your husband, everybody around you. Like you gotta be sure actually stay together as a group, as a tribe. I think that's the best way, the best chances as possible to survive, right? Because trust me, by yourself, you're going to be killed so quick. You're going to be done. You can't do so much by yourself.
So you advise like staying united.
Staying united as possible. Yes, that's the truth. When things happen like this, people, trying to like me. But the smartest people will be, let's get united. Okay, I got food. What you got? You got gas. You got guns. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody contributing from somewhere, something. That's the best way to survive as a group of people.
Yeah.
Instead, just by like, oh, just me and my family, I got this. Trust me, you can do this by yourself. You know what I'm saying? We have to come, all of us, and hopefully we can win. And still is going to be pretty tough. But anyways, okay, yeah, like you mentioned about, dead to America. Why people be wanting the country, America dead?
It's very.
What's like?
It's
what's
very
the cause
it's
for
very
it,
complex and very simple at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna just say something short and sweet because I don't want to get too political. But kind of how I mentioned earlier, as a country, America has made a lot of enemies around the world. currently right now we're in a situation where there's a war going on in the Middle East, with our brothers and sisters. And
in Russia and Ukraine.
That's
in Yemen and Houthis, I believe.
That's
there is I think. Well, I'm sorry to interrupt, but right now I believe there is between 6 or 8 wars, proxy wars. If you guys don't understand what proxy war where big countries support, give the money and resources to a group of people to fight someone else, right? So example, the biggest war right now, or two of the biggest ones, like example, Russia and Ukraine, America supports Ukraine, you give them the money, everything, and they're fighting over there. That's called like proxy war. So basically it's America fighting Russia right now. Yeah, it's Ukraine there, but trust me, it's an America and Russia war, Thank God we're still safe here, but that's too, the war is between America and Russia. And the same thing with Palestinian, with Israel, America again, who control Israel 100%. And they are the ones, again, they're, funding with our tax dollars.
Essentially, you can basically replace Israel with America versus Palestine.
Yeah.
But I mean, those are examples of why people would want America or death to America, like it's stated in the movie. Not that I'm saying it lightly, not because I support it and I want death to America. I want death to all these corrupt politicians. I want death to all the people who are running America behind the scenes that are here, that are against the American people, right? I am pro-America and Americans, those Americans that want to see Americans thrive, those Americans that support other Americans and support people from different cultures, religions, backgrounds. Sure. I'm not pro-racism, pro-hatred for someone who's, wearing a turban, a hijab, or someone who's Hindu. I'm not pro any of that. I definitely want to see our country united and essentially have, America running the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So I think that is the reason why, there's that whole death to America thing, because unfortunately, as a country, it's made enemies.
Yeah, no, like exactly. You said it beautifully out there. Again, yeah, like we all know, I mean, if you don't know this stuff, I think you guys need really to wake up, because you're living under the big rock, heavier rock, huge rock, right?
Under those Apple Vision goggles.
Yeah, exactly. Trust me. Before I started understanding the little bit about politics and stuff like that, which is I just start the past 4 years when I start paying a little bit more attention. But me growing up, I know certain things. What I know, all the politicians for the whole entire world are corrupt and evil, and they don't care about average people, or even the millionaires, right? You have to be certain level, right? Last time, if you guys remember on the podcast, when I said the 1%, the 4%, the 5%. So if you are 1%, the people in 1%, they care only about those people in 1%. And the people in the 4%, they care only about the 4%, which is they are protecting the 1%. And the 5%, that people are aware of things, what's going on, trying to wake up the zombies, right? The 90% of population. Those people are, that's kind of like me and you. You can be a millionaire, still care about the people, the average people, to wake up people up, right? And, and not being harmed and taken advantage from, right? So, America, Absolutely. We will make exactly podcast about America, what we think about America, where America is going. We have very unique perspective about America. We love this country. Just make it this way. We love this country for what America being found for, the laws, the rules, the freedom that America being founded for, a lot of stuff. So we will make exactly.
We're not completely free yet, but we definitely have a lot of freedom compared to
a lot of
other countries.
So absolutely right. So, but again, America. We're talking about the people. When we say America, we are talking about the people who ran the show for America, right? Not the American citizen. American citizens. I'm a citizen. She's a citizen. We're all victim, being blamed for nothing, right? And let me tell you guys this too, because I'm from from a different country. I heard a lot of things about this country and stuff. Like, people, they don't hate Americans. Trust me. People, they hate the politicians, the laws, the ruling,
right.
The people ran the show for America, give that bad name. But they have nothing, against American citizen. If you go majority of the countries and you told them you are American, literally, you are a respectful person, you're fine, you know what I'm saying? You'll be okay. But as long, if you're a bad person, doing some crazy stuff, of course you're going to get harmed. That's with anybody.
I think it also depends though, because from what I've also seen, I've seen both sides of the coin where people respect and love Americans, but I've also seen where those typical stupid Americans. And I say that because it kind of piggybacks off when you said waking up that 90% who's asleep, who's not realizing what's going on in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reason why people from other countries call Americans stupid, because like you said, 90% of them are asleep, not realizing what
absolutely. So
what's going on?
Yeah, majority. Well, no, to be honest, the 90% thing, this is like it's a worldwide, because a lot of people, even whatever other countries, they're really naive.
But I think you can apply that rule also though here in America only. I would say you can definitely it's the same thing.
Same result.
Yeah.
Same result. Absolutely. But okay, at the same time, what I'm trying to say is absolutely. So America did make a bunch of enemies, from different countries. So the flyers they were thrown by the drone in the movie, they were example written in Arabic. All right. They were in Chinese, so multiple Russian, I believe. Didn't show Russian?
No. So in the movie, we only saw the
Arabic and
Arabic.
Chinese.
The Chinese, I don't believe you saw them. They were just mentioned that.
Oh yeah, in the movie they were mentioned.
They were just mentioned, and it was either they weren't sure if it was Korean or Mandarin.
Yes. So the way how every side of the country, they had a different flyers were thrown. Maybe you got the Arabic one, maybe you got the Chinese one, you maybe got something else. But in the movie, people just talked about it. It was like, oh, I saw one in Arabic. The guy was like, no, I saw one like a Korean or Chinese, right? So that means these people make enemies with a bunch of different people overseas, right? And these people come united, which is we can see now China making bunch of new relationship with a lot of different countries. So these people are it's coming to end literally to this movie right now. China right now is making bunch of different relationship with bunch of different countries that never China actually had any intention or any excitement to do any relationship with them. All of a sudden now they're going and shaking hands with a bunch of people. So all these countries overseas got united and attacked America from the internet, from security, from everything.
I mean, right now, and a lot of people talked about this, and even Joe Rogan mentioned it recently on his just recent podcast with Dr. Phil. It's a pretty good episode if you guys want to go watch it. But we're being attacked right now from China, if you didn't know that. Like right now, as we're speaking.
Absolutely.
And and I say that because for those who have TikTok, China's attacking the US via TikTok. So if you didn't know,
that's called Cold War.
If you didn't, this is crazy. If you didn't know, the TikTok over there, their algorithm is completely different than ours. Completely.
Absolutely.
Right?
I believe that.
Sorry to say this, but here you have shaken ass and, learning how to become the next hot influencer, amongst other things.
Yeah.
Over there, it's like computer programming, engineering, algebra.
Yeah.
Really cool things that will advance the human brain and just feed it positivity, And why don't we get that here?
No,
why? Because they are destroying America as it is. If the target nation is dysfunctional, then that's enough for that dysfunctional nation to do the work for you.
Yeah.
And basically dismantle that government from within. Kind of like how they mentioned in the movie. This will not work if you do not have a dysfunctional society.
Absolutely. Well, no, like you mentioned TikTok, this conversation. Oh my God. I love topics like this. It can go like all over the place, which is amazing. Again, TikTok, China already actually talked about it a little bit a while ago. Actually, I read that. When I read that, I literally, I had a TikTok for a very short amount, and literally as long I read that, and I'm like, I can't have this because I feel like very hypocrite, having that and then knowing exactly what's going on. And I don't have that. We will be talking about exactly the social media, what is going on.
We don't have TikTok, just to say. We personally don't have TikTok. But I think we might just make a joint account to kind of keep up with the things that are going on.
Yeah, maybe.
Because social media and TikTok is not the worst thing, and it's not bad. What's bad are the things you engage in, right?
That and the algorithm and it brainwash you. Like Andrew Tate said, you become a TikTok minded. No. Well, you have a TikTok brain. Yeah, TikTok brain. Mm-hmm. You have a TikTok brain because you can't focus. You can't do anything. A lot of that, it's crazy. Yeah. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is the TikTok or actually the China, what they said about the TikTok, or they don't exactly talk about the TikTok, but I'm actually good sometimes connecting the dots.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Go for it. I'm actually good on that. Yeah. So first thing first, they said that it's outdated having wars or attacking somebody from outside in. You attack them, you dropping bombs, you shooting at them. That's from outside in. But now the new modern world, having a war with somebody, you come from inside out. You sneak in something inside. You brainwash people, you divide them, you do all kind of crazy stuff, maybe throwing COVID at them, stuff like that, something from inside. It's like a cigarette, right? It destroys you inside,
then it comes out from outside. You know, you get skinny, your skin is turning weird and all this stuff, right? So that's exactly what the TikTok is. So I highly recommend, guys, if you guys just like using, you know, TikTok just for entertainment wise, like just watching videos and stuff like that. There are some other platforms you can do that. But yeah, let's make this a little bit shorter. Not, you know, spend so much time on TikTok stuff. Yeah, so it's, you know, America, like we said, you know, it had enemies from a lot of different countries, and those countries come all united, and then now they're trying to, like, you know, pay back basically. So
they're coming for us sooner
absolutely.
or later, but they're coming, that's for sure.
Yeah. So okay, now how we can, you know, prevent maybe, you know, this attack, you know, happening? Can we prevent it?
Yeah, just to close that, you know, recently, I think not becoming a dysfunctional society. We need to become better, become more educated, become strong, and not allow us to just be so brainwashed, right? If you're going to get brainwashed, I think you should at least get brainwashed with positivity and good information, right?
100%. Indeed.
So it sounds maybe a little bit far-fetched, but I don't necessarily believe, I could be wrong, but I don't necessarily believe that our enemies or America's enemies is because of us civilians, people like us who we actually care about the world, each other, other countries. We're not evil. We're not evil-minded, and we don't want to spread evil or hate or death. I think that if we come together as a society and overthrow that corruption that we do have going on, we may be able to show those enemies what we really are about and what we really want for our country. And I think that would be a way of essentially killing off those enemies and preventing this from happening, if you catch my drift. How soon will that happen? Can it happen? Definitely nothing's impossible. But I think it'll take a lot of work from every single one of us here in this country. And I think that definitely starts like now, this year, with the elections coming up.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
How do you think, we can prevent this from happening? And if so, how?
Okay. Can we prevent it? Absolutely no. There is no way we can prevent this from other people to attack us. Other countries, they are already being tired of us. Now, when I say us, I'm talking exactly about the government, right? But we still represent part of them. It doesn't matter what we do. You know, I'm Moroccan. I am citizen. I live in America. I still present this country. It did not, when the war happened or stuff like that, you know, like, oh, this is Moroccan, this guy Mexican, this is Japanese. We, all of us as Americans, you have, you know, blue passport, you have a yellow passport. You live in this country, you're an American, and you're going to be getting punched for whatever reason, maybe, you know what I'm saying? So can we prevent this? Absolutely no. Because, I mean, the damage already happened. You already stabbed people. The blood already bleed, right? So there is no way around it. The only way, what I can say is like getting a little bit of preparedness. You know, being prepared a little bit, being, being aware, pay attention what is going on, stay away from big cities, I would say, because a lot of times when these things happen, they start with very major cities, right? So if you can't leave your major city, go somewhere, small towns and stuff like that, that's one of the best chances to survive. Have some canned food and stuff like that to maybe, just as a storage, for survival.
Well, that's how to prepare, right? That's a different question.
Yeah, no. Yeah, exactly. I'm coming there. But can we prevent it? It's absolutely no. But can we, there is anything we can do about it? I don't think so. I think the damage already happened. It's the only thing that I see is getting prepared for it,
Yeah.
But we can prevent it for sure. Yeah. Okay. Can we prevent this? Absolutely no. So does the future scares you now?
It's hard. I want to say yes, it does scare me. But then I think of my faith and my religion, and it kind of just brings me back to whatever comes our way, it's going to happen. We can't stop it. It's already been written for. You just have to embrace it. And I think continue being the best human, the best citizen, the best neighbor, the best wife, the best brother, sister, whatever you can be. And just have fun and live your life to the fullest and just be aware of your actions. I think that's all I can do to minimize that scared mindset. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I would ask if you're scared, but I think I know your answer is no.
Why not?
I just know you just don't get scared.
Well, to be honest, we're very lucky that we died once, not twice. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm not going to wake up again. Then, if you stab me, I'm done. If you shoot me, I'm done. So I'm going to suffer once. Hopefully it's easy as possible. If I'm gone, I'm gone. But this is what, again, religion comes in place, right? When you have faith, you have religion, you understand it, you believe in it. And nothing scares you like this,
Yeah.
Whatever God's will, it will happen. I'm prepared for it. Hopefully that time, if I died, I will die in a good way as possible, meaning I'm not doing anything bad that will God look at me down, You're like, you know what I'm saying? So I want to die, maybe as a warrior, as a provider, as a protector of my family and stuff like that. As long as I'm doing something like this, I'm so happy to go. And absolutely, my family, they're gonna, absolutely. When war happened, it's like we're seeing in Palestine right now, it become a norm, just a matter of time. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, the good thing that we die once, not twice. The suffering it stops when you pass away. So to answer your question, if the future scares me, is no, and absolutely no. But I'm worried a little bit if there is more time to live for suffering for my kids. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like what it worries me a little bit, but not as much, because again, whatever God's planned, it will happen. No one will stop it. If my kid meant to suffer and be, have a ridiculous life of his time life, he will, and I can't change that. Even if I have money, if I have resources, even if I have anything, meant to be, nobody will change it, right?
Yeah.
So, the end of the day, nothing scares me, nothing worries me, just a little worried, not for me, for my baby, but at the end of the day, I know God will take care of him. He's the all-knowing, he's the all-powerful. Yeah.
So how would you prepare for a cyber attack? What would you personally do? I mean, I don't know about you, but when I do go on Instagram, I see a bunch of pages. I actually follow a bunch of pages that their main focus is around preparing for end of the world, apocalyptic type of situations. You know, they buy a bunch of dry food, you know, generators, batteries, etc. Coming from a religious background and being very religious, how would you prepare? Does religion come into play on how would you prepare, or does it not come into play at all?
Religion?
Your religion come into play with how you would prepare?
Absolutely.
Does that influence it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, being prepared spiritually, physically, you know, and your mind, everything, you know, you're well rounded. I think it's the best way to go about it with the water and everything, you know, because, you know, your kids, your woman, your mom, everybody else, they're going to be scared because they're females. We want to be that superhero in the movie that leading everybody. You guys will be okay. This is just, you know, short amount of time. We got it. We fix it, whatever. Even you are scared, scared, you know, badly. Right. So I will, you know, the way how I get prepared for it. I think, you know, you should be training every day for sure. You know, get your body stronger as possible. You know, start jogging a little bit, run. You know, I think running is very important. Trust me, I don't run, but I will. I promise you guys, I will be starting running pretty soon. You have to build that stamina. You know, when it comes to, you know, running, you know, crossing, getting water for your family. You know, getting that eats for, you know, for medications for your, you know, your family, for yourself, whatever, you know what I'm saying? So running is going to come very handy. That stamina is going to be very important. Learning how to fight a little bit for sure, you know, or a lot of it, but at least to know how to defend yourself with something, you know, and that training, what it's going to give you, the main thing, you know, because there is no fight when it comes to guns and shots like that, which is, it's super sad, right? You know, but the training is going to give you that courage, that confidence in yourself. You got this, whatever, you know what I'm saying? It give you like, you know, almost like it's not fake confidence, but it give you this courage, right? That for someone that never trained, never been, you know, at the gym and stuff like that, doesn't have that, you know. It's very important to go through that, you know, learning some skills, how to fight and stuff like that. That would give you very, you know, pretty good confidence for yourself to, you know, to protect your family. Obviously get much food as you can, you know, like dry food and stuff like that doesn't go bad, like beans, you know, lentils, whatever food, you know, that, you know, you can storage, you know, for a while. It doesn't go bad, right? And it doesn't need probably to cook as well too. That would be a good idea too, you know? Yeah,
you would probably want to get like freeze dried. And I guess you can store like raw rice and beans, you know?
Yeah. And 100%, you know, I love this country for one more thing too. I love this country for a lot of different reasons, but this is one of these reasons is, you know, you can own your own guns and stuff like that, right? Buy as much as you can. I mean, hey, look, if you have the money, buy all of them, right? You know, buy them, you know, for fun.
And store them safely. Store them safely.
But exactly, they're gonna come handy one day. And I wish you don't use them against your neighbors and stuff like that. You use them against the enemy. That's the main important thing. And give the people, and if you are like wealthy and you have money and stuff like that, give some resources like that when it comes to those situation, you know, some guns to your friends, to your, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, we will win this war only if we stick together, right?
Yeah.
And if you want to turn around on your neighbor, it's not going to work out. Trust me, you're going to get killed so fast.
Not only that, but ultimately we turn around on our neighbor, we turn on each other. The enemy will basically, you're assisting the enemy, like
what he wants
with their goal.
Exactly, that's one of the goals, right?
You mentioned you're assisting them with completing the mission.
Absolutely,
which is, you know, destabilizing the country.
Yeah, so that's the last thing you want to do. Keep it together much as you can. Bring everybody together. Get your mindset stronger. Get your weapons right. This is something actually we've been talking for so long.
And medical supplies.
Absolutely. To be honest, me growing up a little bit younger, my head is a little hot and stuff like that. I always loved guns. I want to own a gun and stuff like that, but I want to do it a little bit young age. It's just, you never know when the devil comes in your head, right? You get hot with somebody, whatever, you know what I'm saying? So now, thank God, I feel like I'm getting older, getting wiser and stuff like that. I feel like I can have that control much better over myself to own certain things like that, So me and my wife definitely, inshallah, we'll be going and buying stuff like that, some But anyways, yeah, we're gonna buy some guns and stuff like that. Guns against bombs, they're not gonna do anything, but look, even if you have a knife, something better than nothing, right? So whatever your resources, whatever you can afford, go get it, right? Go get those things, get them ready, put them in your basement, put them whatever you can, and just stay tuned. Pay attention what's going on, get people aware, right? Advise your family, your friends, everybody around you, talk about it, get the people right. Tell them the main thing, do not come after your neighbors and stuff like that. This is the main thing. Because literally, right? You see now,
you want to protect your neighbor, help your neighbor. If there's some sort of situation, come to a resolution. United, they cannot defeat us. Only divided.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So yeah, that's how I get prepared. To be honest, I've been lagging a little bit with my gym since the baby was born, but 100%, I promise you guys, I will go back stronger than ever, because we have to live by example 100%. And I have to get my stuff together as well too, and get ready for whatever comes. Like I said, by the end of the day, and this is very important, why sometimes religion and faith comes very handy. If I'm an atheist right now.
So for me, my answer would be pretty much what you said, except I think the way you can also prepare beforehand is by praying a lot.
That's true, actually.
And trust God, trust Allah that whatever does come your way will just only make things happen where it will benefit you, right? Where, for example, I don't know, hypothetical, we are in that cyber attack and you do have all the resources, or hey, you end up dying a painless death with like your whole family or something, right? Because at the end of the day, we all know that we're going to return back home. This is not our permanent home. So with that being said, do you think that when it comes to these end of the world situations or these scary situations that might be the end of the world, that everything's written? Do you think that Allah wants us to become paranoid or basically just become hyper fixated and prepare and store food, weapons, medical supplies, and all these things just so we can try so hard to survive? Or should we just kind of pray, stay calm, help our neighbor? Of course, eat, store some food and survive, but not like put so much focus on trying to survive and overcome, if that makes sense. Should we try to beat whatever this is, this cyber attack? Mm-hmm. Or should we just kind of let things happen?
Well, so everything is written by God, as we believe, as a Muslims, everything happened, it is written by God. Yes, well, it's written by God because he understands how people thinks, what they want, what their end goal, you know what I'm saying? So that's why he knows what's the cause is going to happen and everything, you know what I'm saying? So if you know what people think, you know what they are going to do, right? So that being said, absolutely. So God wants us to do our parts, right? Do our part of being prepared and everything, then keep the rest on God, right? So this guy, I'll give you guys an example. This guy, he went to the mosque to pray. Then he left his camel outside the mosque and he didn't tie it. Then he was like, oh, inshallah, God will watch it for me or something like that, right? And I can't exactly remember, but I think someone told him or God told him that you can't do that. You have to tie it. Then God will do his part. If it meant to be stolen, he's going to, you know what I'm saying? Not just being reckless, right? And not do your part and you think everything is going to be done for you. So if God wants us to be prepared, I will say yes. If God wants us to pay attention, he will say yes. If God wants us to pray and be closer much more to him and stuff, I will say yes. You know what I'm saying? So God loves the people are being prepared. That's what life about, right? You don't want to die without praying and not doing anything. When you go to pray, when you fast, when you do all the things you say from the bad things, you're getting prepared. That's what it is. You're being prepared. If anytime you die, you want to die, you already did your prayers, you already did your things, right? So 100% we want to be getting prepared
for sure. That also brings me back to how in the movie, I don't know if you remember, when the little girl was laying down in bed with, I believe it was her mom. I'm not sure if it was anybody else.
Scared, that girl.
Oh no. But if you remember the part where she was telling her mom the story of how when a guy was out, like I believe it was a boat. He was stranded. And he was a guy of very strong faith and was trusting and believing that God was going to save him. Right? He had an opportunity to be saved the first time from being stranded. And he said, basically, no thanks. God's got me. Second time, another opportunity. No, thank you. God's got me. Third time, again, he just turned down the help and said, God's got me. He died. And then he asked God, hey, why did you not save me? And God was like, hey, I gave you 3 chances. So essentially, remember that little girl was like, hey, like inspired by that story and was like, hey, I'm just going to go save myself. I'm not going to, stay here and let myself essentially die or rot, whatever. And she found what appeared to be kind of like some low-key style bunker, and started eating and watching her favorite show, Friends.
Watching the news get New York, I believe.
So with that being said, guys, the reason why I mentioned and I bring up that question is because, people of strong faith, do not let yourself get carried away and say, God's got me and not do anything. We should do our part and do our best to, be prepared and take care of our neighbor.
You have to do both.
Because if we are okay, we have to make sure our neighbor's okay.
Yeah.
I think God would want that.
You have to be being prepared and do your part, like I said, and you have to give your will to God. Whatever God meant it to happen to me, it will happen. I can't change that and accept that and believe that and let it go into your soul. Hopefully you guys got to enjoy this podcast. What I'm planning to do, or we planning to do with this podcast. So one day we're gonna be posting about something like relationship, fatherhood, motherhood, parenting, basically, right? And we do a segment or another podcast, have like a Myndscape, a news playlist, right? So we want to do a little bit of news so you guys get to be aware with us of certain things going on. And we want to do some advice, the people that are being new parent as us, or they're gonna be a parent very soon. We want to give you guys, a little bit of advice on how things going. It's getting hard and easy, whatever. And obviously we'll do again on a podcast about relationship, from marriage to not getting married, where you should this and that, and hopefully you guys got to enjoy the marriage podcast we did. Thank you so much for all the people watching and subscribe. Keep watching it, keep subscribing. Do you have anything before we close this podcast?
Yeah. So I'm very interested. I always ask this question. I asked you already. I don't want you to answer it, but I want anyone who's watching, just write your answer down in the comments, because I love just reading.
She loves reading comments. Trust me.
I do.
That's what she does.
If I go on Instagram, I don't really look at content too much. I read the comments.
Yeah.
Anyways, so let's just say we're going into a cyber attack, right? Some sort of event similar to a cyber attack, and you have just a little bit of time on your hands to prepare for this, right? Obviously, dried food and canned goods aren't the best tasting thing in the world.
Sure.
So if you had just a small amount of time to gather fresh food, like fresh food items, what would you take with you to your bunker, to your hiding spot, whatever? And when I say fresh food items, I mean like fresh vegetables, fresh milk, fresh protein like fish, chicken, or, whatever.
So you can take any fresh food with you to your bunker?
Yeah. So let's just say you're preparing to go in there, right? You have a little bit of time, and you can only take a limited amount before it goes bad, right? Unless you have people to help you take good amounts and you store it in some sort of way, or maybe put it in a jar or something. But for example, if you can bring fresh ingredients with you, what would they be? I know for me, I've told you this before, it would be butter. I love butter. And it would be ingredients so I can make fresh bread. Hopefully I have an oven or like a mini toaster oven. It would be bread and butter. And I love milk, whole milk.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I want to know, what would you guys bring with you guys?
Do you want me to
Sure, go for it. Yeah.
So I'm Arab. And as Arab, would they eat dates? Dry figs.
Well, that's dry, but what would you bring fresh?
I'm again. Yeah, I know you said something fresh, blah blah blah. But I know if I have figs and I have dates, and I can bring milk. All these three things, I'm good, because trust me. If you guys don't know dates, this is dates right here. If you guys never see dates, or I don't know, but dry dates. They're really good, has so much nutrition, has all the sugar you need, he has everything, healthy sugar and all that, still you can't eat hundreds of them. But again, if I eat like 5-7 of those with some cup of milk, I'm good for 10 hours, trust me. Fresh food, to me, it would be all day long steak. I love steaks. So I'll bring much steak as I can. I like fish too, but I'm not really big on fish. But steak would be my first thing to me.
Awesome.
And if I eat all steak, I'll build all the muscles that I need to. So, all right, guys. Hopefully, you guys got to enjoy this podcast. Leave the word behind. Make sure like and subscribe and comment. And I will catch you to the next one, guys. Bye bye.
Thank you.